Alright guys, so I'm making this video because, well, we got a fiberglass pool, but we're actually going to sell the house soon. And I figured I'd give you guys our experience. We've owned this thing for over 10 years. And I guess not many people have fiberglass pools as it is. So this is like everything you need to know, like what we went through with it. So I kind of broke the video down into a couple parts. This is just right now like talking about like why do we have it and install. I'll go over like the maintenance like later. You'll see the timing in the beginning of the video, but before I even get started, I just gotta say, I'll talk more about it later, but this is a dual system that has a spa that empties out into a pool. I don't recommend pools. You get stuff like that. I'll explain why later. It's really because of the pool automation system that we have kind of failed on us. And I'll go over that in a little bit, but yeah, honestly, if you get the option, you get a spa that's separate and not attached to the pool, unless you're okay with like doing the work yourself. But it's not too bad. So why do we have a fiberglass pool? We've owned pools for almost like 20 years. We had a vinyl pool. We can't do concrete actually. We have a high water table. We live so close to the river. So the water level is pretty high. That's kind of like when you dig a hole and you eventually find water. That's kind of the problem here. So the water constantly goes high up, and you know, we had vinyl for some time, but obviously it teared, it leaked, it warped because water was getting underneath it. So we went with this because basically this is one giant shell. Now, if you guys don't know what fiberglass is, the best example I can give you is if you see a boat, you see the white plastic underneath it. That's basically the same material as fiberglass. It's very smooth. It's really nice. It basically feels like one giant spa. But yeah, it's one giant shell to literally drive in it in a pickup truck and a giant thing. So install is kind of like weird. You kind of have to be very precise with it. It is, I think, I can't remember the price. I kind of listed in the video. I think it was like $20,000 or something like that. But we didn't really have a choice because again, the water table. But yeah, so one of the issues with fiberglass as well, it's a bit of a hassle to install and even make because fiberglass itself is very powdery. I think it could be harmful, and it's kind of messy as it is. Actually, the pool company that we bought this from kind of went out of business after. But to our credit, we've never had a problem ever with this pool. So we really can't complain. You know, our pool guys have been very reliable and helped us with a lot of things if there's anything that came up. But yeah, so the fiberglass pool has been a really good investment. Obviously, you can't go too deep. This is 5 feet deep because of the shell. I think that you probably go as far as 7 or 8 feet. I'm not sure. I'll probably put in the video, but again, we can't go too deep because I always wanted a diving board, but we can't because of the river. I think it's like, I'll put the measurements somewhat in the video, but how close we are to the river. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Very nice pool. Obviously, there's some perks to having it, like maintenance free, and I'll talk. It's not totally maintenance free, but I'll talk about it in a second. Before I get to that, this is a dual system. Now, our system is controlled by this fancy remote control Easy Touch. There's a panel I'll show you in a second, but yeah, there's a two-part system. The spa empties out into the pool, like a spillway, really nice. It's controlled by this unit. I'll just open it up real quick. And yeah, this handles like temperature. You can do scheduling, and of course there's these buttons to do things. So you hear that click? That's a relay system. So basically shuts on and off power through the circuit breaker. So there's switches here for the yard lights right there. And then of course there's like a fiber optic lighting system. I'll show you that at night. There's one to turn it on. And another button to turn on the color wheel so it changes color. It's very slow, but I'll show you that later on. And yeah, so this controls built-in thermostat. There's temperature probes, so it controls the thermostat. Turns on and off the heater. And one of the biggest thing about this is supposed to turn on. It's supposed to switch modes. So obviously you've got the pool is either going to circulate in both as it is now, or just circulate it in the spa, and it's going to heat up faster in the spa. So obviously, if it's circulating the spots, the pool isn't going to heat up. A lot of people wanted to do both. My parents did, but it's like, that's not how it works. You either heat up one or you circulate the whole thing. So the thing about that we had motors that sit on top of these valves. Those motors broke within a year when we brought the system. And of course, the company went out of business. And each of these motors is like over $100. Why bother? Honestly, just forget about it. We just gave up on it. And we yanked out the motors, and you just have to turn the valves. So you have to make the suction. These left two, one's for like the main drain, and one is for the skimmer. So you can kind of see the main drain. There's two little tiny cups there, one down there, and one over there. And then the skimmer's there. And over here is for the spa, the top one there. And those are for these, all four of these inlets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, for outlets for here, these are all the jets. This is, you turn this on for an aerator, which I'll talk about in a second. And then the main return is here. This is what makes it rotate like a whirlpool, that one there. I'll demonstrate that in a second. But yeah, so these outlets, the one here on the right is for the main pool returns. I'll show you that in a second. One of these two are for the spa. One is for the the whirlpool one, and one's for the jets. There's one return here and one return over there. Obviously, you could probably find a nicer pool, like a vinyl pool. My friend has a vinyl pool with like these things on the bottom that kind of self-clean by pushing dirt to one corner, which is really cool. But of course, this is one shell, so we really can't do that. Despite that, though, you could use, you have a wireless remote with this, so you have all these modes for buttons. You can switch the mode for pool and spa, which again is supposed to turn the valves, but that thing broke on us. And there's an airplane, of course it's foggy. You could use your smartphone with this, but that's like a $400 add-on. Who's got money for that? And you got to run the network cable as well manually, which is not ideal. But your typical pool system. This thing here is, by the way, for a drainage system. And I should just mention real quick that this is for the skimmer. This is for a sump pump. So remember how I said that like water can get underneath the pool and you gotta suck it? Well, that is for I guess you could put a pump down there. Oh, the pool pump was kind of set up so you could suck water from down there by turning that valve, but that valve broke, so we just use a separate pump. One thing to mention, actually, sorry I'm out of order, but I'll go over that maintenance. But let me talk about the spa system. This cool feature. So now it's going to spa only. This does something, I forgot what. This turns on these jets. You hear the noise here. And you just turn this to shut off the aerator. Open it. You got the jets. Things noisy. I know some pools come with the aerator over here, but this one doesn't. This is built into the spa itself, which is kind of cool. Saves you some money, I guess. Let me show you the whirlpool return. And this doesn't really do much, but just, you can see it's just only that jet spewing out, and it's just basically making this rotate, which is kind of cool. But, and again, if you just turn on these, only these ones, this is going to circulate in here and heat up. It's really nice. Heats up in about like 10 minutes. Obviously, you can set the temperature. So turn this on, which I really hate turning on and off. Abort. So there's pool. Has a set temperature for pool. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, wrong button. That turns it on and off. That's for spa. Turns on the heater. It's set to 102. I know it's cold. We turned on the pool because we're gonna sell the house. So we want to, show it off. But definitely don't recommend turning. We have to leave it on at night so it doesn't freeze the pipes. That is for an HO2 system. I think that's really all there is to talk about. I'll show this at night. So yeah. Now, maintenance. Obviously, for one thing, you don't want to empty out the water. People say that you have to be careful about that because the shell, the walls can cave in. You're supposed to kind of technically get help with the if you ever drain the pool, you got to put stuff on the bottom and stuff like that. I mean, we didn't have issues, thank God, but I noticed that the ground bubbled up. So maintenance, people talk about maintenance, and the first thing that comes to mind with fiberglass pool is it maintenance free? Well, yes and no. You really don't have to worry about other issues with other pools like concrete. You got to replaster it every so years. Vinyl, of course, it can tear, it can leak, things like that. We've never had an issue with this ever. And at first, we had a bit of a scare where like the surface it was kind of turning less white. So the first couple years, we would drain the pool, which again wasn't recommended. Actually, you don't ever want to drain the pool. As you can see, I'll just put a picture there. We didn't have issues, but of course the ground kind of like bubbled up a bit. So technically, you're at risk of the pool popping out of the ground or in caving in and breaking or cracking. So not the best thing. So we would kind of drain the pool and just rub like Comet, like powdered bleach to re-white it. But then we kind of realized every year we just super chlorinate the pool. We have to do it anyway for the nature too. We put it like a couple bags of shock in, and it kind of almost like re-bleaches the surface. And as you can see, it's like nice and bright blue as we bought it. It's awesome. So there's that. And then you can kind of buy like surface colors for the pool. So you can kind of get the pool painted a different color if you want to, like maybe like purple or blue or green. Honestly, I think you're psychotic if you ever paint your pool. I really hate dark surface pools. It's scary because then at night you don't see anything, especially if there's, even in the daytime, you can't tell if there's spiders on the ground and you step on it like, ah. So I really hate, even centipedes, man. I really hate dark colored pools. I don't recommend it. And I don't know if the bleaching trick, like the chlorine trick to re-bleach the surface is going to work with colored pools, but you know, that is an option. Besides that, I mean, everything else about this pool is self-explanatory. Your general chemicals, you know, just balance everything. And yeah, I mean, it's sad to see this go. I'm definitely gonna miss this pool, but all good things come to an end eventually. And yeah, let us know. I mean, I won't be able to help as much anymore. The house is getting sold, so yeah, like and comment, subscribe.